Well, good Wednesday to you. It's June 15th. Thanks for taking a moment, whether it's June 15th, Wednesday, or later in the week, to spend a few moments with me today for Good News Wednesday. I want to ask you a question today. What matters most? What matters most? Take a moment, put your answer in the comments. I would love to know what matters most to you. I've been thinking about that. I've been thinking about it since the weekend. I want to think about it for just a few moments with you today. What matters most? There's all kinds of things that matter to us. This past weekend, some of us spent some time out at Green Hill Lake Camp. Some of our church family hung out there, and we were talking about how we're all unique. And there's lots of things that make us unique, that make us special. God created us. He knits us together. That's what Psalm 139 says. He knits us together in our mother's womb, and he makes us unique, and we're all very different. And that's pretty amazing. And sometimes can be frustrating. It can be really interesting to think about how different we are and how God has made us unique. And so because we're unique, different things matter to different people. So I'm curious to know today, what matters most to you? What is most important in life? There's all kinds of things that are important. There's lots of important things in life, but depending on who we are, depending on what season we're in life, different things sometimes matter more or less. So, it seems around here lately, based on all that people are talking about, it seems to me what matters most to a lot of people right now is gas prices. Now, I know that's probably not what matters most, but if we were to go on what people talk about the most or the topics of conversation, man, we talk an awful lot around here about how expensive it is to fill up our vehicles, or how much inflation and things are going up in price. And I mean, I get it. That's hard stuff, and it's tough stuff, and it hits the pocketbook, and it affects some people. And so right now, some of those things really matter to people, and it's a real struggle. But, big picture, when you think about it, what matters the most to you? I have a feeling that maybe, we'll start to see some answers like family, friends, some of us, our jobs really matter a lot to us, but the people in our lives, I bet you will get listed. This Sunday is Father's Day. I'd like to think that family matters to a lot of us. But as I've been thinking about what matters most, there's this verse that I was thinking about, and we were thinking about it on the weekend, that I just wanted to think a little bit more about, and I just wanted to put it on your radar screen again as a part of Good News Wednesday. Because as you think about what matters most, and even though we're all unique and we all have different ideas and different perspectives, and sometimes that leads to some very interesting discussions and sometimes disagreements, there are certain things that according to God's word, which is the ultimate source of good news, there are certain things that should matter most to us. And although sometimes we spend a lot of time talking about, well, like I said, important things, hard things, real life things, sometimes I'm convinced that we don't always spend a lot of time talking about the most important things and what really matters most. And so, how are you doing? Are you thinking about what matters most to you? What's most important to you? Well, in Colossians chapter 3, there's a few verses from God's word that I want to read for you today, just to get you thinking about what really matters. And I think it's really important for us to stop and pause and consider what really matters and what matters most, and then live our lives in such a way that the things that matter most are the things that take priority and the things that we're very intentional about. So let me read. I'm reading out of the New Living Translation of God's Word today, Colossians chapter 3. And in verse 1 it says, "Since you have been raised to new life with Christ, set your sights on the realities of heaven, where Christ sits in the place of honor at God's right hand. Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth." Think about the things of heaven, not the things of earth. It is easy, friends, to get all caught up in the struggles of this world and this earth and the things that are going on. And they are hard things. and they are things that we have to deal with. But God's word says, think about the things of heaven. Look beyond. Set your sights on the things that really matter, that transcend this world, that go beyond just this life. And then further down, we read this. Colossians chapter 3, verse 11. In this new life, it doesn't matter if you are a Jew or a Gentile, circumcised or uncircumcised, barbaric or uncivilized, slave or free. Christ is all that matters, and he lives in all of us. You see, what matters most is right here. We're told what matters most right here in this passage from God's word. Christ is all that matters. Jesus is all that matters. Jesus matters most. And God has given us the ability to choose Jesus and to invite him to come into our life. And he is really what matters most. Now, there's all kinds of other important things in life and things in life that we have to deal with and as we go about living our lives. But Jesus matters most. And so we spend a lot of our time and energy thinking about things and how much of those things come and go. But Jesus wants to be that constant in our life. Jesus matters most. So this is what I'm convinced of. I need to think about Jesus more. I need to spend more time with Jesus. I need to talk about Jesus more. I need to live for Jesus. And so I pray today, as I've just got you thinking a little bit on this Good News Wednesday, that as you think about what matters most and you think about people in your life and things in your life, that Jesus will be an important part of your life, will be, in a sense, all that matters. And as he matters, then it's amazing what other good things will come into our life and how our relationships will begin to all make sense in light of who Jesus is. So what matters most to you today? Because according to Colossians chapter 3, verse 11, Christ is all that matters. Have a blessed Wednesday.